take his fire. It's not going to burn you. Take his fire, put it at God's feet, and ask God to renew you. Ask God to make your husband more patient. Ask God, don't even ask God to make your husband more patient. Ask God to put forgiveness in your husband's heart, because that's the most important right there over him being patient. He needs to forgive, because his forgiveness is the bottom line of patience. Forgiveness will naturally produce patience, right? This is the life we should be living, in all honesty. So, and husbands, be patient with your wives. Try your best. Try your best. You know, so, some women out here will destroy what you built. Some intentional. If it's intentional, man, get up out of there. Get up out of there. All right? Some do it on accident. But remember who your God is. Remember who your God is. And I am not telling you, I am not advocating for you staying in a relationship where you think things are one-sided or whatever. But what I'm advocating for is just hang in there, bro. If you really believe that girl love you, or maybe you don't believe it, but when you take it to prayer, you hear God saying opposite of what you feel, man, you better trust God, bro, because you just never know. You just never know. Just hang in there, man. It's not worth it most of the time to just to leave the person that you're married to. Right? It's not worth it most of the time. Before you make that decision to leave, fast and pray. Really, really, really seek God. Take your time. Because what if you signed them papers and then your impatience, you finally see that prayer got answered, that your wife becomes a P31, or your husband becomes an Ephesians 2, or I think it's an Ephesians 2 type of man. Maybe an Ephesians 5 type of man. One of them, where it says husbands love your wives, right? And it lists all the things you should be doing. What if you finally signed them papers because you just decided, I'm gonna go against God, and boom, he's changing. But it's too late. The papers are already signed. Or I don't know how it goes, right? But the point is, the paper is already signed. The damage is done, and you don't want to go back on your word now. That's really how it be sometimes, unfortunately, right? God doesn't promise us perfection. The only thing he promises is that he's here for us. He is here for us. That's the only thing he promises. He does not promise safety. He does not promise that you will have a good life. He does not promise that you will be successful. He does not promise that your marriage would prosper. He does not promise that your kids would be noble and obedient and all this stuff. He doesn't promise none of that. But he promises his presence. He promises his support. That's it. That's it. And if you are a new believer, you have to understand, God doesn't promise that all your prayers will be answered. Yes, he says, come to ask, knock, and you will receive. Yes, you will receive. You can receive it in eternity, or you could receive it now. You have to understand that. You have to understand that there's two lives. There's two lives that the Christians get. You either going to receive your riches now, or we're going to receive them in eternity. And if either way it goes, when you ask, you will receive it. Never puts a timeline. Sometimes you don't receive it right away because you need your character built. Okay? But, you know what I'm saying? Just keep the faith. Keep fighting. It's hard, because I gotta, every time I preach to y'all, every time I speak, I'm really speaking from a place that I'm living in. Okay? I don't always grab from God, right? Majority of the time I speak it because I'm in it, or I'm overcome it, or I'm working on it. And right now I'm speaking from a place I'm working. So it's hard, bro. So y'all pray for me as I pray for y'all. As pray for me, as I pray for y'all, as Jesus prays for all of us. As Jesus intercedes for all of us. Right? Because we are deserving of all the trials that we face. We are deserving of it. Good thing Jesus came though, because imagine if we had to do this on our own. So whoever I'm speaking to right now, maybe I'm speaking to myself. Just remember, man, take your time. I've been struggling with mine for 7 years, okay? 7. So I literally gave up my entire youth. I gave up my young adult life. Now I'm a middle-aged adult, I guess. I don't know. I'm almost 30. That's the point. For a great cause, for a greater good that I believe is the greater good. I gave up all of that to live righteous. Now, so what if it doesn't? I don't want to say so what, because that's my that's the emotion side. Like, of course I want it to prosper or whatever, right? But if I'm just being real as a man of faith, so what if it doesn't prosper? So what if it ends badly? When God looks down, when God reviews my life, when my flesh tries to testify against me, or however it goes, right? He's going to be like, well, he did put his faith. He applied it. And he did stick around. He stuck in there until he just couldn't. Or he stuck in there until the situation expired. Right? Because sometimes you don't want to judge a situation. Sometimes you just gotta let it play out. You don't want to call the shot. Sometimes it's like that. Because the shot you may call may just be, you know what I'm saying? If you prayed to God about it, if you gave it to God, don't snatch it back trying to make your own decision. You gave it to God for a reason. So leave it right there. Endure whatever is coming. Whatever plays out, it's in God's hands, bro. It is what it is. Okay? Especially if you're married. Especially if you're in a situation where you just can't turn around necessarily. Okay? Boyfriend, girlfriend, if this is a situation where it's your emotions. It's, some people is boyfriend and girlfriend for years. And you can still pray. I don't care, there's preachers out there that's like, God doesn't do boyfriend and girlfriend. But sure, he doesn't. Okay? Yes, obviously. But one thing he does do is faith and prayers. So pray over your boyfriend and girlfriend. And if you prayed over them, you should endure until God removes you from that situation. Okay? Until God removes that situation. If you did not pray, sure, I would say, make your own decision. But I always encourage prayer because we just don't know. What if you lead that girl and whole time that's your wife, she just had to get things fixed up? What if you lead that dude and whole time it's your husband, right? He just had to get some things fixed up. Because not everybody will look exactly. People will say, oh, you sure about that? Why don't you go point to scripture? Okay, were you abiding? Let's do it like this. Were you always righteous? No. So maybe your P31 wife, if she's, and listen, let me. I'm not saying to go mess with a harlot or whoever, right? A Jezebel. I'm not. No. I am talking about those girls that they just don't know that they're messing up. They just don't understand. That's where the washing of the word comes from. I always say wash. And when you grow weak in your strength, you need to give it to God. Let God wash her. After you've washed her, pray over that girl, bro. Pray over that relationship. And let God wash her. After y'all argue, man, y'all need to go and pray, bro. Maybe you don't have the heart to pray with her. Because, we human, our heart is going to get hardened, when we endure trials and everything. It just naturally hardens. especially as a man. You just